time for questions at the end. Really quickly, I wanted to go over just some quick things about Instagram in general. Instagram is a very photo-focused social media site. I know we talked a lot about Facebook previously, and with Facebook, you don't always have to put a picture. Sometimes you can just post nothing but words. But Instagram, there always has to be either a picture or a video attached to it. So you should have some way to take higher quality pictures. A smartphone works just fine. But if you did want to brush up on some photography skills to give yourself kind of just the leg up, that's definitely recommended, and that would be great. If not, you can still be successful. It's just an added little bonus if you do that. For most of the webinar, I'll be focusing mostly on the app instead of the website. And that's just because the website doesn't have all of the capabilities that the app does. You can still do certain things. You can still post pictures and videos, but not all of the editing is there. And it's just a lot easier on the app. So that's what we're going to be focusing mostly on. And then I did also want to let everyone know just some background about Instagram. About 60% of Instagram users are between the ages of 18 and 34. And it's pretty evenly split between male and female. But just something to keep in mind when you are creating content for Instagram, that it is a little bit of a younger demographic. We're posting on Instagram. The most common and the one that everyone's pretty familiar with is just the traditional post, which is a picture with a written caption. You can also post multiple pictures at once, which I'll get into in more detail later. And when you do this, you can have the option to edit the picture you're posting, add a location, add sound or music to play when people look at the post. You can tag other Instagram accounts. You can also include a reminder for events, which is pretty new. You can boost the post like you do on Facebook. And you can also add some hashtags in the captions as well. Next up would be the Instagram Reel, which is pretty similar, but it's a video with written caption instead of a picture. These are maximum of 90 seconds long. They're visible the same way as a post, so they show up in the feed, they show up on your profile, and they also show up in a separate Reels section on Instagram, so the videos have their own section on Instagram. And they do have more editing options than a video that you would post on your story. You can also do an optional poll, a quiz, or you can allow people to give a rating, plus everything that's mentioned above on the traditional post. Next up is the Instagram story. So this can be a picture or a video. And I say no words there, but you can put a few, but the words are attached to it. And again, we'll go over this in a lot more detail later. I just want to give you a quick overview. These are maximum 60 seconds, but usually people keep them pretty short. And the thing that's special about stories is that they're only visible for 24 hours. So stories are really good for current problems or kind of day of situations, and also things that maybe you don't want to add to your feed and you don't want people to see forever. Some optional things that you could add is everything that's mentioned above for the reels and the traditional post. Plus, you can also add on what they call stickers, which are just little animations. You can draw on the image. You can include a quiz, a poll. You can also link to external websites. You can include a countdown for an event. You can have a question and answers option, and again, the ratings as well. The last thing would be the live, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a video that's being broadcast live, and it does get recorded as well, so if you wanted to post that separately on your Instagram page, you can do that as well. So the first thing we're going to discuss is making an Instagram post. What you see here is your news feed. That's going to be the first thing you see when you log into Instagram. It'll also be where anything you post shows up for your followers. You can see your messages there and your notifications. And at the bottom, there's these 5 things, 5 icons. We're going to go ahead and click the plus to create any content that we want to post.
can also see over here the different kinds of content we can post. For right now, we're going to stick with our original post. When you first do this, you may need to allow access to Instagram to see your camera roll, get access to your camera. I definitely suggest doing that because that'll be the main way that you're getting content. Once you can see your pictures, you can go ahead and start choosing which picture you would like to post. If you want to post multiple, you're going to go ahead and click this icon right here. You can see that one pops up. You'll see 2, 3, 4. These will show you which photos you've selected and in what order. Change that later on, but once you have that selected, go ahead and hit next at the top right. And then you'll see this right here. This is the order in which your pictures are being posted. Again, you can rearrange this. I'll show you how, but it's also important to note here that when you're posting multiple pictures at once, they should all be the same size. So if you have a horizontal picture that you really want to post first, make sure that all of the other pictures are horizontal. If you're making a separate post, it doesn't matter, but if you're posting them all at once like we are here, you're going to want them to be either all landscape or all vertical. And from this page, you can also do a little bit of editing. So like I said, you can go ahead and hold this down and delete this picture. So you're just going to hold it down and drag it down to the trash can right there. If you wanted to rearrange it, you would do the same thing, just hold it down and then place it wherever you want it to go. So you can go ahead and click this note up here, and that's going to allow you to add music to your post. They do have a pretty good selection of songs. They don't have everything though, so you can either search for a specific song you have in mind or just pick one of theirs. I'm just going to pick a top one. I don't really know what it is. Once you have that selected, you can go ahead and move this around and choose which part of the song you would like to play while people are viewing your post. You can also change the duration of the song. So if you wanted to play for a longer amount of time, shorter amount of time, you just click right here. Once you have that selected, you can go ahead and hit done. And then also from this slide, from this section, you can have filters, which just allow your pictures to look a little bit differently. I will say, if you're doing it from this part, the filter goes on all of the pictures that you're posting. So just keep that in mind. If you only want to do it for one, you would go back to hit normal. Then you would click on the picture that you want to edit. So again, from here, you can add whatever filter you'd like. If you wanted it to be black and gray, these are just presets. You can kind of do this yourself, which I'll show you. The other part of this that you can do is once you do select a filter, you can edit the strength of the filter, which I'll show you. So once you select it, you're going to hit that right there, this right here. And you can figure out how strong you want the filter to be, whether you want it to just be a little bit or a lot. If you don't like the changes that you're making, you can go ahead and hit that X, which will delete everything, or the check mark if you want to keep the changes. From here, you can go ahead and hit edit. And I won't go through all of the editing, just a few. I'll go through them, but just not in detail. The first one is the adjust, where you can change the perspective of the image, or maybe if you just need to change the alignment a little bit. And the same thing, if you don't like what you're doing, hit the X, or you can exit out individually. The brightness, which will allow you to make the picture lighter or darker. Contrast, which strengthens some of the colors. Sharpening the image just allows you to give a little bit more structure to it. The warmth will allow you to go either cooler or darker in the colors. Saturation, same thing, brings out some of the colors. The color section allows you to add specific color hues either over the shadows or the highlights. If you want the picture a little bit faded, you can go ahead and do that. You can also bring out the highlights of the image as well as the shadows. And again, for all of this stuff, if you don't like what you're doing, just hit that X. The vignette you'll see is a little black kind of circle around the edges. And the tilt shift will actually allow you to blur out the background of the image. You can do this either in a circular motion or a linear. And you're going to use 2 fingers to either zoom in and zoom out on that, or just place that blur wherever you specifically want it. And then lastly is the sharpen, which again just gives a little bit more definition, similar to one of the other editing options. Hit done whenever you feel happy with it. And then when you do that to all of your images or none of them, go ahead and hit next. You don't have to edit your pictures, it's kind of a personal preference. But once you hit next, you will come here and start adding the actual content to your images. So again, you can scroll through and see what pictures you have and in what sequence, make sure you have everything right. And then you can go ahead and start writing in your caption. So this post is about a story time on the farm. So you're going to write the caption that you want. You can add in a few different things here. You can add in emojis, or you can also add in hashtags. I'll show you what hashtags look like in the completed post. But what that really does is help you build a community with your Instagram page. So anyone who is posting with the hashtag that you choose as well, people will be able to see that. So for this one, we're going to do, hashtag farm. And I'll show you, like I said, and you'll be able to see anyone who uses hashtag farm. You can go to that and see all of the posts that include that. It'll also give you some suggestions as you're typing. So maybe I know I want to include the story somehow, start writing that and be like, oh, great, I'll use storytelling. So once you're done with that, just hit OK at the top right. The next thing that you can do is tag people. This allows you to collaborate with other Instagram users and other Instagram pages. We're going to choose CCE Jefferson, so I know they won't mind. And you can move that around on the page if maybe there's multiple people in the picture that you want to include. Product details, we're going to not really touch on that because that's a bit advanced. But if you do have products that you'd like to sell, Instagram does have an option for that. The other really cool thing that Instagram allows is reminders now. That's a pretty new feature, and it's great for events. What's cool about this is you can actually have people add a reminder to like their calendar straight from Instagram. So you're just going to name the event and then also include a start time for whatever you'd like. I think it's up to 3 months. Yeah, 3 months out. You can also add an end time if maybe, the event's only running for an hour or two, and then also just hit done. The audience, for business, I would say everyone. Close friends is more of a personal settings. You don't really need to mess with that. You can also add the location of the event, or just if you're adding the location of your farm when you're posting a picture. It doesn't have to be for an event. For this, I typically like to choose ones that have the full address there, because Instagram allows that if someone clicks on that location that has the address, it'll bring it right up in their maps and give them directions right to it. So I think that's a really great feature. So if you are adding location, try to include the full address. You can also change the music settings here again. You can boost the post. I'm not going to get into that because Lindsay went over it in the Facebook, and what Instagram does is it just redirects you right to the Facebook boosting. So we're not going to worry about that today. And then once you make sure everything's good, you're just going to go ahead and hit share, wait for it to upload, and I'll show you what everything looks like once it's all finished. And there we go. So there is your post. You can see your farm name and logo, your location, the music that's going to be playing. This is your picture, and you'll be able to swipe. Those little dots are how many pictures you have. You'll be able to swipe around and see how all your pictures look together. You can check on the schedule and make sure that everything's accurate. You can see how many people liked your picture here, any comments. You can also send it out to specific people. And right now I'm showing you the hashtag farm. So this is what I'm saying. Anyone who has these pictures has also used the hashtag farm in their caption. So you can see this just on the newsfeed, and then if you were to click onto your profile itself, you would also see this post there. How to make the post, we're going to get into posting a reel, which is basically the same thing. It's just that it's a video instead of pictures, but it's very similar concepts. The editing is a little bit different, so we're going to go ahead and get into that. For some reason in the video, it's split up into two, and I never remembered to put that first part in. So again, hit that plus on your home page to get started. And then this is going to pop up where we are going to be scrolling over to Reel. and looking at the videos that we have available and adding, I believe it's up to 10 to make a reel. So adding as many clips as you need, up to 10. And then once you have all the ones that you like, go ahead and hit next. And same thing, they all need to be around the same size. You can edit this, but it'll give you some suggested audio and some suggested editing, or you could just skip that. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hit skip and start from scratch. So first, it'll just play all of the videos as they are, but once you hit edit, you can see there's a full breakdown of the videos and the clips separately, which is those little breaks in between. And then we're going to go ahead and swip over to this one. Continue. You can go ahead and select each individual clip to edit individually, or you can edit them as a whole for certain things. Once that yellow box is around it, you can take it and clip it down a little bit, make it a little bit longer, stretch it out. You can also rearrange them here, and there's also an option to rearrange them a little bit easier later. But down at the bottom is all of the editing tools that you have. So you can delete a clip, the highlighted one. You can also edit them. You can add additional clips, add some music, which is what we're doing right here. And it's very similar to the post where you just type in whatever you want, or you can click some of the ones that come up as top or viral video or viral sounds. Once you add that in there, it'll see at the bottom you can have it change around, which we can go over later. You can also add in text. You can type whatever you like in here. You can change the color of it, change the font down here. You can also move it around the page using either 2 fingers to make it bigger or smaller, and place it wherever you'd like over the video. Like I said, this one right here adds a little bit of animation to it. There you go, moving it around wherever you'd like it to be. And then hit done whenever you're set. You can also add in other stickers. So if you want to type in for this one, we'll do berry. And it's very similar to putting on the text. You can move that around anywhere on the screen, make it bigger or smaller. And then down here is where you can see you can change how long it's visible for, what part of the video it's visible for. Same thing that you can do with the music and the text as well. So that's pretty cool. It allows you to be really, really individualized. You can duplicate it if maybe you want it at the first part and the end part. And then after that, you can go through, like I said, add more stickers to it. You can also do voiceovers and change the audio. So maybe if you want to do a voiceover for the whole video, but there's already sound on it, you can take all the sound from the original video away. Filters, very similar to making an Instagram post, like we just went over. And then this is where it's pretty easy to rearrange the clips. So maybe you just added them in the wrong order, or you can also delete them by hitting that little minus sign right there. Totally up to you. Once you hit next on that, you're going to go through all the same steps that we did for the post with some extras. So creating your caption, where again you can include hashtags or emojis, and then hitting OK whenever you're done with that. It's also really fun in here to try to make it as personalized as possible. So just keep that in mind. And again, short captions are best. Adding in that hashtag. So if you want people who are interested in the specific topic to see more of them. And people can also follow hashtags now, which is pretty interesting. You can go ahead and add buttons to this to get messages, tag people, same thing with the audience. The topics are things that will help Instagram and their algorithm place the reel on certain people's pages. So not everyone that follows you will see this, but sometimes people who don't follow you at all will see this. And that's because they might be interested in certain topics. So we're going to pick recipes, fruits, depending on whatever type of farm you have or whatever type of business you have. There's lots of options here. I try to do them based on the actual video itself that you're posting, not just your business. You can rename audio, add your location, and then these are some advanced settings if you don't want people to be able to comment, things like that, which, up to you, but I think they're a little too much. Go ahead and hit share, and while that is uploading, sometimes it takes a second, but oh, actually it was pretty fast. So we're going to go ahead and view it, and it's the same thing as when you are looking at a post. All of the information's there. You can also see it on your profile here. And on the profile, there's a separate Reels section, which is if you click right here, you can see just your videos versus over here, which shows you all of your posts, whether they are videos or pictures.
Talking about making an Instagram story, you can create this either by using that little plus at the bottom, or you can also click right at the top left where it says your story. Either one will work. We're just going to go ahead and click the bottom middle to be consistent. Also at the bottom, you're going to scroll over to story. You can either use your camera roll, or you can go right here and select a photo that you already have in your camera roll. So we're going to pick our photo. Using all the icons up here, all the icons up here, we're going to add a few different things. You can also use both fingers to resize the image, place it wherever you want on the screen. So like I said, when you click up the top, there's a location option. We're going to add in our location. We're going to go ahead and click the sticker again. Again, you can resize that, place it where you want. And then we're going to go ahead and hit mention. Mention is so that you can add another Instagram account to the post. Same thing. When you click on each of these stickers too, you can change the way they look. So I'm just going through a few of them, showing you what you can do. There's the ask a question option, where someone can write in a question and then it will come to your messages. You can either answer it privately or you can publicly answer it as a story as well. You can change the look of the music and have music play while the story is posted. You can add a countdown. So for a situation like this where it's an event, we're going to add a countdown to this. You just pick the day that the event's happening on. People can also take this countdown and add it to their calendars as well, similar to the event that you do on a regular post. And again, resize it. The other stickers on here, I'm not going to go through all of them. You can add a quiz, you can do a rating system, a poll, or you can go ahead and search by clicking in the search bar. There are emojis that you can add, or GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to say. And you can add those as well. You can also change the look of a picture by using the bottom here. I'm sorry, it's this button right here, the sparkles, and then you can scroll to the bottom. By tapping anywhere on the screen, you can write in some words. You can also change the color of the words. You can change the background. This over here gives a little bit of animation to it. You can change the font, which I'm showing you down here. And you can also add the location in here. I always choose to use the stickers just because I think it's a little bit easier that way. So yeah, just going through, you can change the size of the font over here with this scroll bar, the alignment, and then just like all the other stickers, go ahead and place it wherever you want. You can also add font by going into that little A right there. I chose the drawing option. Obviously, we're not going to keep that smiley face there, but you have options here to use a pen, a marker. This one gives a little arrow at the end, and this one just a different look. Similar to the font, so you can change the color of it or the size of the pen that you're using. If you want to delete something, you can just go ahead and hold on to it and drag it to the bottom where there's a trash can. And then after that, you go ahead and hit this button right here to post it. Or you can also hit your story here. Close friends, like I said, for business isn't really ideal. To view it, it'll show up right in that top left corner. You go ahead and click your name right up here. You can also go to your profile and click your logo or your name, and it'll show up that way as well. For analytics, sorry, it's still uploading, but when you swipe up on the story, if you have it open, oh, there we go, swipe up, and then you can see how many people viewed it. The insights that will be available will be, I'll show you a little bit afterward in a separate slide, but you can also take this post and make it in, I'm sorry, you can take the story and make it into a post. So if you just wanted to have that picture and all of your wording on your feed regularly, you can go ahead and do that by hitting the post button. You can delete the story, add it to your highlights, which is just another section on your page. You can send it to someone. A lot of different options with the story. Let's see. And then you can also boost it similar to like you would boost a regular post with a paid advertisement. Again, I'm not going to go over all the specifics of that. But yeah, other than that, I think we're all set with the stories. I discussed making a live video. Like I mentioned earlier, live videos are exactly what they sound like. They are happening live and broadcasted live to the audience. They're good for if you're maybe hosting an event at your site, or if there's anything that you want people to see right away as it's happening. Typically, there's a bit of leniency too in terms of the quality of the video, just because people have an understanding that it is live, mistakes happen, so don't worry too much about being perfect on them. And then just like everything, we're going to use that plus right in the middle, start, scroll over to live. This center button, all you need to do is start is press right here. There's some settings you can set beforehand, but you can also do that during the video, so I'll show you during. And yeah, your camera opens right up, so you're going to press that button in the center, and you're now live. Over here in the top right are some options. The X right here ends the video. You can also turn your microphone off and on. You can turn your camera off and on. This reverse button allows you to use the front camera or the back camera. And then you can also add comments. So you can comment to everyone who's watching your live. Other people can comment too. These three dots right here pull up this menu, or you can add a moderator. You can do any settings like turning off the comments, turning off the request for people to join. And then over here is where you'll see those requests, you'll see the moderators, and you can also see the questions and answers. You can also send it out with the little paper airplane that was there to either a person or a group of people. Lastly, what I didn't mention is up here in the little sparkle, the little face, you can add filters to the video. Top left, you can see who is participating in the live if you do allow a moderator. Once you click the X, it'll ask if you want to end, and you can see some video insights on how many people you reached. You can also discard the video, or you can post it to your page as an Instagram reel. And once you hit that, you'll go through all of the steps that you normally would that we just went over about making a reel. And after that, once you fill out all the information, you can add the tags, add your location, anything like that, invite a collaborator, some advanced settings, which I won't really get too deep into, just kind of like hiding the comments, nothing too crazy there. And then add your caption like normal. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and post it. It's going to take a second just to load, but I did want to show you what it would look like because these ones can be a bit longer, so still uploading. Sorry about that. We get to watch Cute Dog in the meantime, though. There we go. So here is your new reel that you made out of your live video. You can turn off and on the sound, and then all the same concepts as before. And again, you can view those insights. I'll go over them in more depth, but these now turn into the real insights rather than the live insights. We're going to discuss is
using the professional dashboard to view your insights and your analytics. There is a lot of vocabulary that comes along with this. Just keep that in mind, and I'll kind of explain as we go. But to get there, you're going to go right where that red box is, click on that, and it will bring you to your professional dashboard. Some of the features that are available here are the insights, which you can see and we'll go into more detail about. There's also tools here, the ad tools, and like I mentioned earlier, that really just brings you to Facebook. So to be able to sponsor and promote things on Instagram, you need to have some type of compatibility with Facebook, and make an ad account through Meta. The other options that are on here are gifts and partnership ads, which I wouldn't worry too much about, as well as the monetization and more tools. Those are much more advanced. I wouldn't worry about them if you're just getting started. You can also use down here the tips and resources to see what's trending and maybe what you can utilize in your own marketing, get some inspiration based on the accounts that you follow or what type of account you own, and other just guides and resources here. We're going to go ahead and choose the accounts reached, and this is where that vocabulary is coming in that I mentioned. So your reach of your account is the number of unique accounts that have seen your content at least once. And this is important to divide from what's called impressions, which we'll show a little bit later. Right here is mentioned. Impressions are the number of times your post have been seen, even if it's by the same account over and over again. So reach is the number of counts who have seen it. Impressions is the number of times it's been seen, no matter if the account's seen it before or not. So when you click here, the accounts reached, you'll see this quick overview. You can change on all the insights the amount of time that you're looking at. So we're looking at the last 30 days. You can see that we've reached 443 accounts. 389 of those are our followers. 54 are people who don't follow us. So 54 people who don't follow us saw our content. The amount of impressions is right here, so that's how many times our content has been viewed. And they also break it down between the content type, so how many times our stories have been viewed versus our posts. And again, broken up between followers and non-followers, and you could see that information here if you'd like to select just see the followers altogether. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see your top content. So these are the things that you've posted, again, within the last 30 days or whatever time frame you choose up here. And which posts or reel or whichever content it is, which ones did the best. Right here where it says 255, each one of these has that, and it's just how many accounts you've been reached. So that, again, is the reach that it's showing you. If you wanted to, you could also click on each one of these posts and bring a more detailed view where you can see the reach that the individual post had and the engagement that the individual post had, whether that be people who visited your profile, maybe the amount of likes, the amount of replies, comments, things like that. So you'd have to click into this to see that for the individual post. And the last bit on the reach is the profile activity. And profile activity is the number of actions people take when they visit your profile after engaging with a story or any of your content. So profile visits is the number of times your profile was visited, again, in the last 30 days. And then profile activity is the number of actions people took. So maybe someone visited your page and then also liked a story or liked a post. They could have also just viewed a post. I believe that counts as well. So just keep that in mind. Dashboard is the accounts engaged. So again, that vocabulary here, and if you ever forget, if you click that little I, it'll give you an explanation of what the vocabulary is. Accounts engaged is the number of accounts that have interacted with your content. So while reach is just number of accounts that have viewed it. Engagement is how many people have liked it, saved it, commented, anything like that. And it breaks it down. For some reason, there's a one missing here where it'll show you exactly how many accounts were engaged overall within the 30-day period. But it looked very similar to the last one. Everything's basically the same. So it'll tell you specifically story interactions, post interactions separately. Sometimes your demographics aren't big enough. Your audience isn't big enough to get the demographics that you like. That's just part of it, unfortunately. And then you also have your content interactions here. So again, overall, while this is more specific to stories and your top stories and the posts, content interactions is everything combined. So if you click into that, you will see this. It'll show you your growth overall. Looks like we had 1 overall growth of followers, and also show how many people unfollowed you. It'll show you based on the day. So maybe if you posted something on these days, it'll tell you, okay, people really didn't like that post, a bunch of people unfollowed you. Or if you gained a lot of followers from a post, you can kind of coincide it with that. This page also gives you just insights about your followers in general. So where are they located, what age range they are, men versus women, give you the full gender breakdown. And then something that's really interesting is the most active times. So you're going to want to look at this and see when your followers are the most active, and that'll kind of give you a guide on when you should be posting during the day. Because I know that question was brought up last week, and Instagram does give you that information. You can do a deep dive on a lot of these topics, but that was just kind of a quick overview of how to do things on Instagram, how to post your content, and also the analytics. So you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.